That night in a luxury New York skyscraper, a security guard stood at the glass doors, calm, silent, invisible. Then she walked in. Elegant, powerful, untouchable. She looked at him, smiled coldly, and said, "I'm a CEO, and you're just a doorman." What she didn't know, the man she humiliated was the billionaire who controlled her future. Before the story continues, don't forget to subscribe to Addie's Voice. Enjoy the story! That night, the skyscraper in Manhattan, New York, stood proudly under golden lights that shimmered against the dark sky. Inside the main lobby of Virex Global, important guests arrived one by one, dressed in expensive suits and elegant gowns. But near the entrance, standing quietly by the glass doors, was a young man in a simple black security uniform, worn leather shoes, and a calm expression. His name was Ethan Walker. He was 28 years old. No one knew that the man guarding the door was the youngest billionaire in America, the secret majority shareholder of Virex Global. Ethan chose to disguise himself, not for fun, but to answer one question: who would value him as a person, not for his wealth? 2 years earlier, Ethan's life had fallen apart. He had been in a serious relationship with a smart, ambitious, and beautiful woman named Claire Donovan. At that time, Ethan deliberately hid his true identity. He claimed to be nothing more than a small business owner living a modest life. But as Claire's company began to rise, her attitude changed. "I need a partner who's on my level, Ethan," Claire said coldly one night. "Not a man with no future." That was the night Claire left him. No goodbye hug, no tears, only a broken heart Ethan had to carry alone. And tonight, fate brought them together again. The glass doors opened. A woman stepped inside with absolute confidence, an elegant white dress, high heels clicking against the marble floor, sharp eyes filled with authority. It was Claire Donovan, now the CEO of Virex Global. Claire stopped when she saw Ethan. Her eyes narrowed. A mocking smile formed on her lips. "Ethan," she said, scanning him from head to toe. "You're a security guard now?" Ethan straightened his posture. His voice was calm. "Good evening, ma'am. Please go ahead." Claire let out a small, condescending laugh. "How ironic your life turned out. I left you because you had no future. And now look at you." She stepped closer and whispered sharply, "I'm a CEO, and you're just a doorman." Those words struck harder than a slap. But Ethan remained silent. He didn't defend himself. He didn't explain. Honestly, in my opinion, this is the most painful part of the story, because the deepest wounds don't come from strangers, but from someone we once loved with all our heart. Ethan watched Claire walk away. His chest tightened, but his eyes stayed calm. He whispered to himself, "It's okay. The truth doesn't need to shout." No one knew that beneath that security uniform stood the man who had funded this building, saved this company from collapse, and who would soon decide Claire's future. But tonight he chose silence, because his plan had only just begun. And that humiliation was the beginning of a lesson Claire Donovan would never forget. That morning, Virex Global was busy once again. Employees moved through the building carrying coffee cups, tablets, and tired expressions. Near the main entrance, Ethan stood at his post in his security uniform, as if nothing had happened the night before. But inside the executive meeting room on the 40th floor, tension filled the air. Claire Donovan sat at the head of the table. In front of her, the board members looked uneasy. Financial reports glowed on the large screen. "Our main investor still hasn't confirmed," one director said. "Without additional funding, the Phoenix project may be canceled." Claire clenched her fists. "That's impossible. I already promised this project to the media." "The problem," another director added, "is that the majority shareholder remains anonymous. We can't pressure him." Claire took a deep breath, forcing herself to appear calm. "I'll handle it." Meanwhile, in the ground floor lobby, an elderly man in a gray suit looked confused. His hands trembled as he held a folder of documents. "I have an appointment," he said softly to the receptionist. "My name is Mr. Harrison." The receptionist shook her head. "I'm sorry, sir. Without confirmation, I can't let you in." People nearby began to stare, some with dismissive looks. No one stepped forward to help. Ethan walked over. "Let me assist you, sir." He guided the man to a seat and brought him some water. Ethan glanced at the documents, then quietly made a call using a small device behind the security desk. Moments later, the receptionist's face turned pale. "Please go right in, Mr. Harrison." Immediately, Mr. Harrison looked at Ethan with teary eyes. "Thank you, son. You're a good man." Ethan simply nodded. Later that afternoon, Claire came down to the lobby. She noticed Ethan helping an intern who had dropped a stack of papers. Claire stopped and smirked. "You really enjoy this role, don't you? Helping small people feel important?" Ethan met her gaze briefly. "Everyone deserves respect." Claire let out a cold laugh. "Nice words won't change your life." She walked away, leaving Ethan standing silently at his post. As evening fell, a message flashed on Claire's phone. Subject: emergency meeting with the majority shareholder, 7:30 p.m. Her heart raced. "This is my chance," she whispered. That night, the main boardroom was prepared in full elegance. Leather chairs, expensive wine, and a glowing presentation screen filled the room. The directors were already seated. Claire stood at the front, nervous but hopeful. The door opened. Everyone stood. A man entered with calm steps. No tailored suit, no luxury watch, only a security uniform. Claire froze. Her eyes widened as she recognized the face. "Ethan." He walked to the head of the table, removed his security cap, and spoke in a steady voice. "Good evening. My name is Ethan Walker. I am the majority shareholder of Virex Global." The room fell silent. Claire's face turned pale. Her breath caught in her throat. And for the first time in her life, she felt small in front of the man she once humiliated. The boardroom fell silent. No one dared to move. All eyes were fixed on Ethan Walker, the man they had always believed it was just a security guard. Claire was still standing, her hands trembling. This has to be a joke." Her voice shook. "You can't be serious." Ethan took the main seat, the one that had always belonged to Claire. He calmly looked at the financial reports on the screen, as if the room had been his all along. "I never lied," he said quietly. "I simply didn't tell you everything." One of the directors swallowed hard. "Mr. Walker is the investor who saved Virex 2 years ago. Without his funding, this company would have collapsed." Claire slowly sank into her chair. Memories flooded her mind, her harsh words, her dismissive looks, and the night she walked away from Ethan in pursuit of ambition. I didn't know," she whispered. "If I had known who you really were." Ethan looked straight at her. "If you had known, would you have loved me? Or would you have only loved my power?" The question cut deeper than any punishment. The following morning, a major decision was announced. Claire was removed from her position as CEO and reassigned as a temporary advisor, not out of revenge, but because of serious management, mistakes, and a culture of arrogance she had allowed to grow. Ethan did not fire her. He simply said, "I want you to learn from the bottom, just like you once asked me to." Days passed. Claire now worked without praise, without status, without protection. For the first time, she experienced what it felt like to be seen without a title. One afternoon, she saw Ethan standing in the lobby, still wearing a security uniform by his own choice. "You don't have to do this anymore," Claire said softly. Ethan gave a faint smile. "This uniform taught me something. It showed me who was genuine and who was not." Tears streamed down Claire's face. "I'm sorry," she said. "Not because you're rich, but because I failed to respect you as a person." Ethan looked out through the glass walls at the New York sunset. "Regret always comes too late," he said. "But life's lessons always arrive on time." They never became a couple again. But Claire walked away with a changed heart, and Ethan moved forward with peace, without resentment, without anger. Because in the end, true victory is not found in bringing others down, but in remaining dignified after being looked down upon. The story I created carries a moral lesson. We never truly know who a person is based on appearance or position. Arrogance can cost us the best people in our lives, while humility opens the path to true success.
Welcome to ADI's Voice Channel. This channel features fictional stories, including inspirational stories, romantic stories, and emotional life stories filled with meaningful moral messages. Important notice: all stories presented in this channel are purely fictional and created for entertainment and educational purposes only. The visual images are original creations generated using AI prompts. The narration voice is produced using AI voice technology for storytelling purposes. Any resemblance to real persons or events is purely coincidental. Content purpose: entertainment, inspiration, moral lessons, and life values. Light educational storytelling. Thank you for watching and supporting ADI's Voice. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you enjoy our stories.